What began as a whisper in the backstage corridors of WWE, a silence colder than any arena chill, has evolved into the most soul-wrenching chapter the WWE Universe has ever witnessed. Roman Reigns, the once invincible tribal chief, has broken his silence in a way no one expected. Not with a championship declaration, not with a challenge, but with a heartfelt farewell that signals the possible end of an era defined by brotherhood, rivalry, and sacrifice. The weight of Seth Rollins' catastrophic injury, the complete collapse of his knee, the shredded ligaments, the doctor's brutal comparisons to a car accident didn't just halt one man's career. It broke something in Roman too. For years, these two icons stood on opposite sides of the same war, brothers in the Shield, then bitter rivals, then begrudging survivors of WWE's merciless grind. But this wasn't about title belts anymore. This was about history, shared pain, forged loyalty, and the unspoken bond between warriors who bled for the same crowd, carried the same torch, and ultimately ran out of road at the same time. Roman Reigns' response wasn't a press release or a tweet. It was a retreat to the past. To the quiet of his beach house, the place where the Shield once toasted their first WrestleMania. It was there, in that silence, that Roman watched footage of Seth Rollins' injury on loop. Not as a rival. As a brother. When he learned that Seth was sedated from surgery and unable to speak, Roman left a message, simple, devastating, honest. You were the fire. You always were. I don't care about the title. Just come back whole. That wasn't Reigns the champion. That was Roman the man, the friend, the survivor who had seen too many of his brothers fall, from Dean Ambrose's departure to Brody Lee's passing to the slow implosion of the bloodline. And now, with Seth's collapse, the last thread to his wrestling origins had snapped. The man who reigned over WWE for nearly a decade began cancelling bookings. He skipped media. He ignored Heyman. He sat with his children longer, talked to Sika, and then he submitted the unthinkable, an indefinite leave. Not for rest. For reckoning. And still, he returned for one moment. One unscheduled appearance on SmackDown. Roman didn't speak. He walked to the stage, stared at the empty commentary seat Seth once filled, then turned and walked back. No music. No fanfare. Just an unspoken goodbye. But the pain needed a voice. Roman wrote a letter, not to creative, not to WWE leadership, but to Seth. In it, he admitted everything, his jealousy, his regrets, and his gratitude. If this is the last time we lace boots in the same ring, I want you to know, I was never the top guy because of titles. I was the top guy because you pushed me there. That letter was hand-delivered to Becky Lynch. She didn't reply. But she kept it. And when Seth was finally lucid enough to read it in the California recovery ward, he didn't weep. He just nodded. Because deep down, he already knew. The road back would be long. Weeks passed. Seth struggled through rehab. First steps, first lifts, pain, more pain. Roman disappeared completely. No press, no matches, just a black SUV in Pensacola and a letter marked brother dropped in Seth's mailbox. That's when WWE began to quietly prepare something monumental. Survivor Series, Legacy. Not a match. Not at first. A tribute. But then came the whispers. A cryptic teaser aired, boots walking, a heartbeat, a whisper, one more time. And on Halloween night, Roman Reigns returned, alone, under a single spotlight. He spoke only once. If he stands again, I'll stand with him. One last time. The crowd erupted. No feud. No anger. Just respect. Backstage, Seth watched on a monitor, eyes glassy. A single nod said it all. Survivor Series 2026. The Last Dance. Roman Reigns vs. Seth Rollins. Not for gold. For goodbye. The build was quiet. No promos. No sneak attacks. Just footage of two men taping their wrists in silence. When the night arrived, they entered not as champions, but as the men they once were. Roman in tactical gear. Seth in simple black, his knee braced, his eyes locked forward. The match was slow, powerful, personal. Every slam echoed with history. Every glance told a story. Roman worked the knee, not with malice, but like a teacher testing his students' resolve. Seth grimaced. Fought back. Survived. At the 25-minute mark, Roman hesitated, spear ready. But Seth collapsed, not from pain, but from peace. And then, in a move unscripted and unbelievable, Roman laid down. He let Seth pin him. 1, 2, 3. Silence. Then the eruption. Fans screaming. Seth crying. Roman smiling. They stood, hand in hand, for one final bow. No betrayals. No turns. Just closure. The next day, Roman posted a photo of the Shield, captioned, "We carried it. We bled for it. Now it's yours. Goodbye." Seth reposted it with one word, brotherhood. And just like that, an era was sealed shut, not with fire, but with grace. Not with titles, but with truth. Two men who gave everything to this business finally gave something to themselves. And as they stepped away, maybe for now, maybe forever, the WWE Universe wasn't mourning an end. They were honoring a legacy that will echo in every chant, every match, every arena. Because no matter what happens next, this was never about wins. It was about what's left. And what's left is love, pain, brotherhood, and the reminder that even legends need time to heal.